Welcome to Hatz AI, managed by Framework. Today we'll cover the foundation of what an LLM is, the different models that are available to you, and how to pick the right one for your task. What is a large language model? Well, a large language model is a highly advanced pattern matching system trained on a massive amount of text. It predicts what words or phrases should come next based on your input. They can do things like write and edit content, analyze data and documents, answer questions, generate code, but they can't think, understand, or remember previous conversations unless they're in the same chat session. So, why are there different models available? And are there benefits to using one model over another? A key benefit of the Hatz AI platform is having access to multiple different models. You can think of the models as customized or specific versions of AI as a whole. Claude Haiku is trained on a certain set of data to make it good at those specific tasks. Google Gemini is trained on another set of data. Google Nano Banana, their image generator model, is trained on image generation. So they're all good at different things. They're better at some tasks than they are at others. How do you select which model you should utilize? One thing to keep in mind is that models use credits at a different rate. The newer the model, generally, the more credits they use. The reason for that is they're doing more complex thinking or calculations, they're doing more number crunching, and they're doing it faster, so it utilizes more energy to run that process. When in doubt, you can always enable the auto model selection right here. If it's not enabled, it is a setting in the admin portal. Simply submit a ticket and we can enable it for you. If you select the middle section here where the models are available, the auto model selector is always at the top, and then you can scroll down or select other models or agents if needed. Now, how do you figure out what model is best for what task if you don't want to lean on the auto tool? Well, you can always ask AI how to use AI. While Hatz does include the auto model feature that allows you to select the best model for your request automatically, sometimes you may want to use a more specific AI. You can always just ask the AI what to use for the task that you're working on. You could say something like, which model should I use for analyzing a 50-page legal document? It will review the task, review the selection of models that you have available. You can see that this one is routing to GPT 5.2 in this chat, and it's recommending GPT 5.2. And you'll see that it does call out that if you're using a longer workflow, you could use a lighter model for a part of that workflow and use the stronger, heavier model on the more complicated sections of that workflow. You don't need to use one model for the entire process. So to recap, large language models are advanced text prediction systems that powers HATS AI. Multiple models are available, each with different strengths. Auto model will pick the right one automatically. You can ask Hatz which model you should use for a specific activity. And finally, Hatz has created an agent that we could utilize to help us identify which large language models are correct for which activities. If you go to the workshop under Discover, you can search Hatz AI Model Selector or LLM, and Hatz created this agent for us to utilize. It helps you figure out what large language model you should use for what part of your workflow that you're on. It does it through conversation, so you can chat to the agent, discuss the workflow or process you're trying to do, and then ask it for its suggestions. It will ask you clarifying questions before eventually giving you a determination of what large language model you should be utilizing. So the multiple ways are enable auto tool or enable auto model selection, or ask the AI what to use, or use the Hatz AI model selector agent to figure out what model to use. Thank you very much for your time.